We came from Caladain, a paradise world for our form of life. There existed no need on Caladain to build a physical paradise or a paradise of the mind. We could see the actuality all around us. And the price we paid was the price men have always paid for achieving a paradise in this life. We went soft. We lost our edge. From Muad'Dib, Conversations by the Princess of Rohan. So you're the great Gurney Halleck, the man said. Halleck stood staring across the round cavern office of the smuggler seated behind a metal desk. The man wore Fremen robes and had the half-tint blue eyes that told of off-planet foods in his diet. The office duplicated a space frigate's master control center, communications and view screens along a 30-degree arc of wall, remote arming and firing banks adjoining, and the desk formed as a wall projection, part of the remaining curve. I am Stepan Tuek, son of Ismar Tuek, the smuggler said. Then you're the one that owe thanks for the help we've received, Halleck said. Ah, gratitude, the smuggler said. Sit down. A ship-type bucket seat emerged from the wall beside the screens, and Halleck sank into a sigh, feeling his weariness. He could see his own reflection now in a dark surface beside the smuggler, and scowled at the lines of fatigue in his lumpy face. The ink-vine scar along his jaw writhed with the scowl. Halleck turned from his reflection, stared at Tuek. He saw the family resemblance in the smuggler now. The father's heavy, overhanging eyebrows and rock plains of cheeks and nose. Your men tell me your father is dead, killed by the Harkonnens, Halleck said. By Harkonnens or by a traitor among your people, Tuek said. Anger overcame part of Halleck's fatigue. He straightened, said, Can you name the traitor? We are not sure. Dr. Halleck suspected the Lady Jessica. Ah, the Bene Gesserit witch. Perhaps. But Halleck is now Harkonnen captive. I heard. Halleck took a deep breath. It appears a deal more getting ahead of us. We will do nothing to attract attention to us, Tuek said. Halleck stiffened. But you and those of your men we've saved are welcome to sanctuary among us, Tuek said. You speak of gratitude. Very well. Work off your debt to us. We can always use good men. We'll destroy you out of hand, though, if make the slightest open move against the Harkonnens. But they killed your fatherman! Perhaps, and if so, I'll give you my father's answer to those who act without thinking. The stone is heavy, and the sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. You mean to do nothing about it then? Hawk sneered. You did not hear me say that. I merely say I will protect our contract with the Guild. The Guild requires a circumspect game. There are other ways of destroying a foe. Indeed. If you have a mind to seek out the witch, have at it, but I warn you that you're probably too late. And with doubt, she's the one you want anyway. Halleck made few mistakes. He allowed himself to fall into their kind hands. You think he's the traitor? Tuek shrugged. This is academic. We think the witch is dead. At least our Harkonnens believe it. You seem to know a great deal about the Harkonnens. Hints and suggestions. Rumors and hunches. We are 74 men, Hawk said. If you seriously wish us to enlist with you, you must believe our Duke is dead. His body has been seen. And the boy too, young Master Paul? Hawk tried to swallow, found a lump in his throat. According to the last word we had, he was lost with his mother in a desert storm. Likely not even their bones will be found. So which is dead then? All dead. Tuek nodded. And the beasts are bound, so they say we'll sit once more in the sea of power here on Dune. The contraband of Lankevel? Yes. It took Halleck a moment to put down the upsurge of rage that threatened to overcome him. He spoke with panting breath. I have a score of my own against Oban. I owe him for the lives of my family. He rubbed the scar along his jaw. And for this. One does not risk everything to settle a score prematurely, Tuek said. He frowned, watching the play of muscles along Halleck's jaw. The sun withdraw in the man's shed-lidded eyes. I know. Halleck took a deep breath. You and your men can work out your passage off Arrakis by serving with us. There are many places to. I released my men from any bond to me. They can choose for themselves. With Oban here, I stay. In your mood, I'm not sure we want you to stay. Halleck stared at the smuggler. You doubt me word? No. You saved me from the Harkonnens. I gave loyalty to the Duke. Leto for no greater reason. I'll stay on Arrakis with you, or with the Fremen. Whether a thought is spoken or not, it is a real thing, and it has power, Tuek said. You might find the line between life and death among the Fremen to be too sharp and quick. Halleck closed his eyes briefly, feeling the weariness surge up in him. Where's the Lord who led us through the land of deserts and of pits? He murmured. Move slowly, and the day of your revenge will come, Tuek said. Speed is the device of the Shaitan. cool your sorrow. We have the versions for it. 3 things that ease the heart: water, green grass, and the beauty of woman. Halleck opened his eyes. I would prefer the blood of Rabban Harkonnen flowing about my feet. He stared at Tuek. You think that day will come? I have little to do with how you'll meet tomorrow, Gurney Halleck. I can only help you meet today. Then I'll accept that help and stay until the day you tell me to avenge your father and all the others who listen to me, fighting man, Tuek said. He leaned forward over his desk, his shoulders level with his ears, eyes intent. The smuggler's face was suddenly like weathered stone. My father's water, I'll buy that back myself with my own blade. Halleck stared back at Tuek. In that moment, the smuggler reminded him of Duke Leto, a leader of men, courageous, secure in his own position and his own course. He was like the Duke before Arrakis. Do you wish my blade beside you? Halleck asked. Tuek sat back, relaxed, studying Halleck silently. Do you think of me as fighting man? Halleck pressed. You are the only one of the Duke's lieutenants to escape. Oh, wrong voice. You're the only one of the Duke's lieutenants to escape, Tuek said. Your enemy was overwhelming, yet you rolled with him. You defeated him in the way we defeat Arrakis. Huh? We live on sufferance down here, Gurney Halleck, Tuek said. Arrakis is our enemy. One enemy at a time, is that it? That's it. Is that the way the Fremen make out? Perhaps. You said I might find life with the Fremen too tough. They live in the desert, in the open. Is that why? Who knows where the Fremen live? For us, the Central Plateau is a no man's land. But I wish to talk more about. I'm told that the guild seldom wrote spice lighters over the desert. Halleck said. But there are rumors that you can see bits of greenery here and there if you know where to look. Rumors. Tuek sneered. Do you wish to choose now between me and the Fremen? We have a measure of security, our own seat, each carved out of the rock, our own hidden basins. We live lives of civilized men. The Fremen are a few ragged bands that we use as spice hunters. But they can kill the Harkonnens. And do you wish to know the result? Even now they are being hunted down like animals with laser guns because they have no shields. They are being exterminated. Why? Because they killed Harkonnens. Was it Harkonnens they killed? Halleck asked. What do you mean? Haven't you heard that there may have been Sardaukar with the Harkoons. More rumors. But a pogrom, that isn't like the Harkonnens. A pogrom is wasteful. I believe what I see with my own eyes, Tuek said. Make your choice, fighting man, me or the Fremen. I will promise you sanctuary and a chance to draw the blood we both want. Be sure of that. The Fremen will offer you only the life of the hunted. Halleck hesitated, sensing wisdom and sympathy in Tuek's words, yet troubled for no reason he could explain. Trust your own abilities, Tuek said. Whose decision brought your force to the battle? Yours? Yours. Decide. It must be, Halleck said. The Duke and his son are dead. The Harkonnens believe it. Where such things are concerned, I incline to trust the Harkonnens. A grim smile touched Tuek's mouth. But it's about the only trust I give them. That must be, Halleck repeated. He held out his right hand, arm and thumb folded flat against it in a traditional gesture. I give you my word. Accepted. Do you wish me to persuade my men? You let them make their own decision. They followed me this far, but most are Caladain born. Arrakis isn't what they thought it'd be. Here they've lost everything except their lives. I prefer they decide for themselves now. Now is no time for you to falter, Tuek said. They followed you this far. You need them, is that it? We can always use experienced fighting men in these times more than ever. You accepted me word. Do you wish me to persuade them? I think they'll follow you, Gurney Halleck. 'Tis to be hoped, indeed. I may make my own decision in this, then? Your own decision. Halleck pushed himself up from the bucket seat, feeling how much of his reserve strength even that small effort required. For now, I'll see to their quarters and well-being, he said. Consult my quartermaster, Tuek said. Drisk is his name. Tell him it's my wish that you receive every courtesy. I'll join you myself presently. I have some off-shipments of spice to see first. Fortune us is everywhere, Halleck said. Everywhere, Tuek said. A time of upset is a rare opportunity for our business. Halleck nodded, heard the faint susurration, and felt the air shift as the lockport swung open beside him. He turned, ducked through it, and out of the office. He found himself in the assembly hall through which he and his men had been led by Tuek's aides. It was a long, fairly narrow area chewed out of the native rock. Its smooth surface betraying the use of gutter burners for the job. The ceiling stretched away high enough to continue the natural spring curve of the rock and to permit internal air convection. convection currents, weapons racks, and lockers lined the walls. Halleck nodded with a touch of pride that those of his men still able to stand were standing. No relaxation and weariness and defeat for them. Smuggler medics were moving among them, tending the wounded. Litter cases were assembled in one area down to the left. Each wounded man with an Atreides companion. The Atreides training we care for our own. It held like a core of native rock in them. Halleck nodded. One of the lieutenants stepped forward, carrying Halleck's 9-string ballad out of its case. The man snapped a salute, said, "Sir, the medics here say there is no hope for Matai." They have no organ banks here. Only outpost medicine. Matai can't last, they say. And he has a request of you. What is it? The lieutenant thrust the ballad forward. Matai wants a song to ease his going, sir. He says you know the one. He asked if you often enough. The lieutenant swallowed. It's the one called My Woman, sir. I know. He took the ballad, licked the multi-pick out of its catch on the fingerboard. He drew a soft chord from the instrument. Found that someone had already tuned it. There was a burning in his eyes, but he drove that out of his thoughts as he strode forward, strumming the tune, forcing himself to smile casually. Several of his men and a smuggler medic were bent over one of the litters. One of the men began singing softly as Halleck approached, catching the counterbeat with the ease of long familiarity. My woman stands at her window, curved lines against square glass, upraised arms bent down folded, against sunset red and golded. Come to me, warm arms of my lass. For me, the warm arms of my lass. The singer stopped, reached out a bandaged arm, and closed the eyelids of the man on the litter. Halleck drew a final soft chord from the ballad, thinking, now we are 73.